So I bought these pretty cheap motor mounts. I was gonna make my own, but you can get a set of these for like 50 bucks or less. So it really wasn't even worth my time to try to make them because I'd spend more money in materials and bushings and everything. Like, it's kind of a no-brainer.
Huh?
So there's the original holes where the 2.2 motor mounts lined up. Actually, I think it was these two. And then these line up with some other holes that are already here, but there's no threads tapped into them. I'm assuming it's probably for the 4.3. Fortunately, there's holes there already that are ready to tap. Pretty easy. It's not too big of a deal. All right, so I'm gonna bring the motor in and see if I can get it to meet up to these mounts. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to cut out a good section of this cross member here and then plate that back in. But we're gonna try it out, see what happens. All right, well, we did get it to fit, but there's plenty more room in my motor mounts to move it further forward, which would be a little more ideal because we don't have a whole lot of room there. We definitely don't have a lot of room here. So I am gonna notch out that cross member, but pretty cool to see this thing in here. This thing's gonna be a beast. I got everything welded on with my MIG, and then I ground that all down so I could flush up the plates, and then I just went back over it with my TIG just to make sure that everything had good penetration, and went all the way around the bottom side, so it's welded all the way around. Definitely going to be very strong. I'm not worried about it at all. So all I got to do is put a coat of paint on here just to make sure things don't rust. So we'll just... So, motor went back in pretty easily. There's plenty of room around here. Take a look at that in a second. As you can see, I got this BTR Equalizer 1 intake manifold on there, and we're definitely going to have plenty of hood clearance. So that's pretty awesome, and it's also a pretty sexy intake manifold. The headers, unfortunately, are not going to fit upside down like I wanted them. There's too much interference. This side's okay, but this side, we're running into the issue of our steering box here, and basically, without some extensive modification, there's no way I'm going to be able to hook that up to my steering column. Let's take a look at this. So, a little bit hard to see, but there is way more than enough clearance in there now. I have the motor mounts set so they're pushed all the way forward, and there's plenty of room behind the engine, which means I could even go back a little bit further. But one of the things I'm running into is I am definitely keeping air conditioning on this, and the headers here are interfering with that. So you can see here, That bolt hole needs to line up with those threads. We're about 2 inches over, and we are already right in the header. So I think I'm just gonna try to do some mods to this box. Been really thinking about all the options for what I can do. If I have the headers upside down the other way, it clears that just fine. But if we look over here, we have room for the steering column to come through here. I will have to come down with a little U-joint under this. But if I flip these over, there's no way. And these just rest right on top of this. So I was thinking, well, you know, maybe I can do a rack and pinion. I mean, I'm sure it's possible, but definitely going to be more money and definitely some more finagling that steering column out of there, probably down and then like straight through and then down again. It's going to be ridiculous. So I think the easiest way is just modify this box, make it so that this part is moved over, use the same mounting for it, just some aluminum and some rivets and epoxy and whatever else I can conjure up. The other thing I had to change was the brake booster. So the factory brake booster on these S10s is about over to here. It's huge. So this is actually off a 99 Malibu. Bolts right in, fits great, way smaller. And then the other thing was the master cylinder. This is off of the older style S10, the previous generation. And it has the brake lines coming off the other side, which gives us way more room for our headers. So I'm gonna hold off on doing the airbox for now. I think I'm gonna try to get the transmission in, see if we can make a cross member for that. I replaced the busted ass mount bushing that was on here with one of these. It's basically the same mount for a lot of different GM transmissions, so that's pretty nice. And I'm planning to use the original transmission cross member here and just cut out a section here and here and then just replate in a new piece that'll mount up to this bushing here, and then just do some gussets and make it strong, yet make it a little bit adjustable. So let's see what happens. Well, we got this transmission mounted which means now the motor and the transmission are mounted. And don't you just love when you take a shower and then go crawl right back under a car? Yeah, I think my wife loves that too. Let's get out of here. Can't believe that only took about a little over 10 minutes. We got a lot done. Well, I cannot wait to hear this thing run. I think it's going to sound awesome. And that might be coming up pretty soon. Are we starting this in the next episode?
Ha! That thing ain't never gonna run.
Okay. Well, whatever. All right, well, next time we're going to get a bunch more stuff done, so make sure you join us again. Thanks for watching. Huh?